Chapter 1: Rubber Chicken versus the Abyss. The Abyss Overlord moved. It was not fast in the way arrows were fast, or lightning or fear. It was fast in the way inevitability was fast, slow enough to witness, quick enough that nothing meaningful could stop it. The fissure behind the arena widened as the creature surged forward, claws unfolding like collapsing mountains. The sky darkened, as if ashamed to be watching. Cultivators scattered in every direction, their robes snapping in the pressure wave, some screaming prayers, others simply screaming. Lin Hao remained where he was. His feet were planted in cracked stone, one shoe half buried in dust, the other tapping idly, as if he were waiting for an elevator that had taken too long. He watched the beast with mild interest, head tilted, eyes reflecting the burning red of its pupils. "So this is the big one," he muttered. "Looks drafty." The Overlord's presence crushed downward like a physical weight. The air thickened. Even breathing became an effort. A novice cultivator to Lin Hao's left collapsed, foam bubbling at his lips as his spiritual channels overloaded. Another clawed at his own chest, screaming as invisible pressure crushed his ribs inward. Above it all, the system flared into existence, its text stark and severe. System notice. Target identified, Abyss Overlord. Threat classification, apocalyptic. Recommended action, immediate evacuation. Estimated survival probability, 0.0001%. Lin Hao squinted at the glowing letters. That seems unnecessarily harsh. The system did not respond. The Abyss Overlord roared. The sound was not just noise. It was intent made audible, hatred, hunger, and something older than either. The arena's protective arrays shattered instantly, sigils unraveling like wet paper. Stone pillars collapsed inward, pulverized before they could hit the ground. The creature's claw descended. It should have ended there. Instead, it struck something soft. Boing. The sound echoed, absurd and unmistakable, ringing across the arena like a poorly timed joke. The claw rebounded. Not shattered. Not deflected. Rebounded. The Abyss Overlord froze mid-motion, its enormous form swaying, as if it had just punched a wall it hadn't noticed was reinforced. Its eyes, burning pits of abyssal fire, narrowed. What? Lin Hao stood beneath the claw, holding the handle of a massive rubber chicken. The weapon was bright yellow, comically oversized, its molded wings stiff against its sides. A red comb flopped slightly as it vibrated, releasing an occasional cheerful cluck. Lin Hao looked up at the Overlord, then down at the chicken, then back up again. "Ha," he said. "Guess that worked." The system flickered. System warning. Detected weapon. Material classification. Power output, invalid. The Abyss Overlord snarled, drawing its claw back. The motion tore through the air, ripping open streaks of darkness where space itself failed to keep up. "You dare," it thundered, voice reverberating through bone and soul alike. "Mock the Abyss with a toy?" Lin Hao sighed. "Man," he said, rubbing his forehead. "I didn't even pick this. It just showed up." The sigil on his forehead pulsed faintly, violet light blooming like a heartbeat. He felt the familiar hum beneath his skin, steady, patient, like an engine idling. He raised the chicken. The Overlord lunged again. Lin Hao flicked his wrist. Infinity Slash, Casual Edition. The chicken squeaked. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just once. The world folded. There was no blinding flash, no explosive sound. The air rippled outward in a smooth, pink-tinged wave, as gentle as a breeze passing through tall grass. Everything it touched vanished. The Overlord's claw dissolved first, erased at the conceptual level. The arm followed, then the torso, then the scream, cut off mid-roar as if the sound itself had been deleted. A heartbeat later, the Abyss Overlord was gone. No corpse. No blood. No aftermath. Just empty space where an apocalypse had been. The pink ripple faded. Silence fell. Then, softly, something clinked against the stone. Lin Hao looked down. At his feet lay a small, crystalline object, dark as night and warm to the touch. Next to it, inexplicably, was a folded slip of paper. The system chimed. Loot acquired. Abyss Core Legendary. Questionable coupon? Lin Hao picked up the paper and unfolded it. "Buy one, get one free," he read aloud. "Valid at participating abyssal entities." He stared at it. "I'm not even going to ask." Around him, the arena remained frozen in disbelief. Cultivators who moments ago had been running for their lives now stood motionless, mouths open, eyes glassy. A 9-star Grandmaster stared at the empty space where the Overlord had been, his storm-like aura flickering uncertainly, as though it no longer trusted itself. A young disciple whispered, voice trembling. Did it die? Another shook his head slowly. No, that wasn't death. What was it then? The first swallowed. Deletion. The fissure behind the arena snapped shut with a sound like a door clicking into place. The sky brightened, as if nothing had happened. Linhao stretched, rolling his shoulders. Okay, he said. Is that the tutorial boss, or? The system flickered again. Its text jittered, letters misaligning before snapping back into place. System error. Unexpected outcome detected. Difficulty scaling failed. Reason: user does not belong here. Linhao leaned closer to the floating screen. That feels a bit rude. System notice. Applying emergency patch. The air trembled as a massive banner unfurled across the sky, visible from every corner of the arena and far beyond. Tutorial mode enabled. God mode applied. User safety protocol. The words burned bright gold. A collective gasp swept through the crowd. God mode, someone whispered, voice cracking. A cultivator dropped his weapon. Another sank to his knees, pressing his forehead to the stone. The 9-star Grandmaster staggered back, his expression unsteady. Impossible, he breathed. That mode was disabled after the first era. Linhao scratched his cheek. So is that bad or good? The system hesitated. The pause stretched long enough to be uncomfortable. System addendum. User classification update. Status, ? Advisory, please stop. Linhao smiled faintly. I'll take that as a compliment. The ground beneath the arena began to glow. Ancient runes flared to life, lines of power weaving together into the massive stone archway at the arena's center, the beginner's gate. It had stood for millennia, testing countless cultivators. Many had entered. Few had survived. Fewer still had passed. Linhao sneezed. The gate shattered. Not cracked. Not crumbled. Shattered, exploding outward into golden dust that sparkled in the air like falling sunlight. A bell rang somewhere in the distance, its tone sharp and panicked. The system chimed. System notice. Beginner's gate cleared. Completion time, 0.4 seconds. Rank assessment, impossible. Fireworks erupted overhead. Linhao blinked, shielding his eyes. Huh, didn't even touch it. The cultivators stared at the empty space where the gate had been. An elder dropped to his knees, hands shaking. The gate rejected him? No, another whispered. The gate surrendered. A group of attendants rushed forward, wheeling out an ancient stone slab etched with symbols, the ranking stone. This will clarify everything, one stammered. Place your hand upon it, honored sir. Linhao did. The stone glowed, then cracked. Numbers spiraled wildly across its surface. 0, 1, 5, 9, infinity, error, hot beverage, poultry leg. The slab exploded into dust. Silence followed. The elder collapsed backward, fainting before he hit the ground. Linhao withdrew his hand. So, he said carefully, is that a pass? No one answered. High above the arena, unseen by mortal eyes, clouds twisted unnaturally. A presence stirred. In heaven, alarms began to ring. And somewhere deep within the system's core, a new line of text quietly appeared. Narrative warning. User progress exceeds acceptable limits. Linhao checked his phone. No signal. He sighed. Figures. Far above, beyond the sky itself, something ancient opened its eyes. And for the first time in a very long while, heaven felt nervous.